actually live this time, guys. Isn't that weird how that works? Thanks, YouTube.
Oh my goodness.
It is magic.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to MangaPod Book Club. We are a weekly podcast in which we all get together to read all or part of a manga, and we discuss it with friendship, love, and lots of spoilers. Before we go any further, we have a super duper big and really exciting announcement. Sad part first is that Daza will no longer be a part of MangaPod, but we are incredibly excited and overjoyed to announce that we have a new fourth permanent member of MangaPod, and that is Lou of Sitting by the Window Anime Reviews. Woo!
Much hype.
Much hype. We are so happy to have you.
Yeah.
I'm very, very happy to be here. Yes. Very, very, very happy.
Tell them about yourself, sir.
Excite. Yeah, okay. All right. So my name is Lou, and I'm from Sitting by the Window Anime Reviews, and I review anime because that's what my channel is. So yeah, it's kind of a thing I do. So I review anime.
You're actually the opposite of Yoku.
Yeah.
The name of your channel is
it
actually
means
directly
what it says.
connected to what you do on it.
So in addition to reviewing anime and doing first impressions and season previews, sometimes I dub Aaron in Spanish. Sometimes I do really strange impressions, not first impressions, but impressions of Yoku. And sometimes I rap. I do really random things. I'm a very inconsistent YouTuber, but whatever. This is a new thing I'm working on. So happy to be here.
Yeah, we're happy to have
Fuck
you.
yeah, MangaPod. Cheers.
You MangaPod.
Fuck yeah, MangaPod.
First MangaPod of
Cheers.
2015. I think last year, the first MangaPod of 2014, I said first MangaPod of 2013. So I was like trying really hard.
I think I remember that.
I tried really hard to make sure I got the right year this time. But moving on, I'm Erin of HappiLeeErin, your host, and with me is my other lovely co-host.
I'm Dodger. I'm Dodger. First, to continue.
And we are missing our fourth member.
Our Yoku.
Aryoku, who is his tsundere self, is currently in his place, Midorima, with gorgeous green locks. But we do miss him. We will miss him. But if you never joined us for a MangaPod before, what we do is we will give you a short, spoiler-free description of the manga that we read, aka a summary, and then we will give you our short, spoiler-free recommendations, whether we think you should spend time reading the manga or not. This week, we read Hellsing, volumes 1 through 4, chapters 1 through 27, and this was requested by Berserkaren. I don't know if that's how you spell the name, but it says Berserk at the beginning, so that's what I'm gonna say. He chose to one of the perks from the MangaPod IndieGoGo. He selected that he would tell us what to read, and this is what he picked. And so we're super excited to be discussing this. Spoilers, I should give you all a spoiler alert, that after we give our short spoiler-free description and spoiler-free recommendations, we will be going super in-depth with spoilers, but we recommend not to give any spoilers in the chat up until that point. And even after that point, we only read up to chapter 27, so no spoilers for anything past chapter 27 of Hellsing. Saying that, let's give our spoiler-free description.
Okay, so originally we were like, Lou, you should do it because it's your first MangaPod. And he was like, no, I think you should do it in a bad British accent. So I'm going to. Sam, I'm really sorry, and I love you very much. Just try to tune me out.
We need to get him those. He really hopes. He probably really
He just went like this.
He probably wishes
Just
he had those
earmuffs.
MangaPod noise-canceling
Earmuffs.
headphones.
MangaPod headphones, yeah, specifically for MangaPod. Okay.
Hellsing, a secret organization of the British government, has long been battling supernatural threats to keep the people safe from creatures of the night. The current leader, Integra Wingate Hellsing, controls her own personal army to eliminate the undead beings. But even her highly trained soldiers pale in comparison to her most trusted vampire exterminator, a man by the name of Alucard, who is actually a powerful vampire himself. Along with the Integra's mysterious butler and Alucard's new vampire minion, Ceres Victoria, the Hellsing organization must face not only regular ghouls and vampires, but a rivaling secret organization from the Vatican and the Millennium, and an enigmatic group of madmen spawned by a certain war over 50 years ago.
Best idea ever. I'm so happy with that.
That's your synopsis of Hellsing.
That shit was amazing. Oh, Jesus, I think I'm gonna die.
I did it for you, Lou. I did it for you. It's ruined my relationship, so I hope it was worth it.
Anybody want to give their spoiler for recommendations? I mean, I can go first.
Okay.
Oh, God. Okay. Hellsing is...
Yeah, go on.
So Hellsing is one of those manga/anime when you're first getting into anime that is always constantly recommended to you, the OVA, not the original series usually, but is always recommended to people, especially if they like gore. It is an older series. It came out in the early 2000s, I believe, so it's an older one. It's kind of a staple within the anime community, definitely. So reading the manga, it's been forever since I have watched the OVA of Hellsing and the original Hellsing. It's been so long that I really don't remember much except that Alucard is just this crazy psycho mofo vampire monster thing. So it's been a long time since I've watched it or anything. So coming back to read it, it was really refreshing. I definitely had some problems with it in terms of the pacing, and I thought that the beginning was really slow, and it wasn't up until like the last volume or so that I thought it really started to pick up. But I think it is definitely a really good read, especially if you like gore and vampires and I was gonna say Nazis, but that does not come out. If you like really interesting political underground wars and stuff like that, so. I would recommend it for that, and I think you should definitely check it out because it's definitely a staple.
Okay, I guess I'll go next. It's all right. No, all right. So spoiler-free recommend. No. Spoiler-free recommendation. Actually, it was all right. I enjoyed the. I enjoyed the show. And damn animated manga, but no, I really enjoyed it for what it was, but it doesn't mean that it's anything stellar. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, overall, I thought that it had some issues with the art. I didn't really like the art, but we'll get into more detail with that later. And again, I share the same pacing issues, and it's kind of a clusterfuck. But whatever, Yellow Dodger, take over. I'm new at this, damn it.
That's perfect. That was good.
Yeah, I totally agree. Before we even started, I was like, man, I thought there were a lot of pacing issues with this manga. Mm-hmm. I like the stylized nature of it. It reminded me a lot of JoJo's in that way, where like just everybody's constantly like exaggerated posing.
It's constantly like you feel like everything is a cover photo.
Yeah, like, and everybody has Mickey Mouse hands. Like the hands are fucking huge. Yes. But
giant yaoi hands.
Giant Mickey Mouse yaoi hands. It's like the weirdest crossover of things. Yeah, it was all right. I would say that the OVA is way better. Mm-hmm. Like seeing it animated is a lot better. It's a lot more consistent, and the story is a lot easier to follow. But I do love the characters, so I enjoyed reading the manga anyway. But yeah, it's all right. Yeah. I would agree with Lou in saying it's all right.
It's all right. So there you
I'm
go.
really proud of us for not making any Nazi puns in a spoiler-free description. Or the recommendations.
I
was struggling not to.
As people in the chat said, I almost did a yoku.
Yeah, I was literally going to say, oh my god, Erin, you almost had your yoku moment.
Oh golly.
Like, I did not see the Nazi
joke. Oh, that's a Nazi joke.
That's like, one. Or
I did not see that coming.
We made the right decision adding this to the schedule.
Ah, there it is. Yes.
Oh no, we're gonna get really
I'm glad we didn't read fewer chapters. Okay, I'm done. Okay.
You got 3 out really
that
fast,
really
so
bad. That was
I feel like we covered all of our bases.
I'm a history buff. Okay.
History buff for the puns. Yes, so that is our spoiler-free recommendation. So you got 2 ites and a good. So if that interests you, then you can definitely go and read the manga so you won't be spoiled, and then you can come back and watch the VOD of this here on my channel, youtube.com/HappiLeeErin. So let's dive into spoiler mode. You ready? You ready?
Alucard is God.
Yay!
Pretty much.
I for sure thought you were gonna say,
basically.
oh god, what's the girl's name? Integra. I thought you were gonna say she was God.
I love her. Waifu.
I was just gonna say we were talking about it. She is Dodger's waifu.
Yeah.
It's close
I
to
love
a
her
waifu.
because like sometimes you see an art style that makes you realize that you don't often see characters of particular genders portrayed in certain ways. Like Integra totally fucks with my mind. When I'm reading this manga, I'm just like, she's smoking a cigar and she's making super creepy, exaggerated faces all the time. And I'm just like, I love this because you constantly forget that she's a woman. Like, as odd as that is to say, like, the way that men are normally drawn in manga is the way that her facial expressions are and her demeanor is. And I loved how well that was captured. As much as I didn't really like the art, I loved the way that was captured in her, that she's just like, what?
Yeah, she's like, what
I
up?
run this organization that kills vampires, suck it.
But she also has like a lot of hesitations and doubts about a lot of things. Like, she shows fear. She's not just this heartless badass, like, oh, I'm just super strong badass, I have no emotions lady. Like, she genuinely feels fear. Like, you can see her be terrified at numerous moments, like, oh my god, what are we gonna do? All of these people died, and, oh, I just spit everywhere. But when that was one thing, when the two vampire brothers showed up at Hellsing Corporation, like their building, and just slaughtered all of their people, like, she was so upset about it. Yeah. And so it was nice to see that. I think for me, she was the most, the character with the most depth. Like, I really liked the characters, but I also really felt that they were pretty one-dimensional. Like, I didn't think so far they didn't have very much to them. They didn't have very much growth from what we saw, and she definitely had the most depth to her. And so getting to see that, I really liked it even more.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that contributed to me liking her so much is that she reminded me of a couple characters from Black Lagoon.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Never seen Black Lagoon.
So good. She reminds me of
I'm gonna put it on a poster.
Chat. Yeah, exactly. Go watch it.
Wow, you got so sassy about that.
But anyways, no, she reminds me of Revi, and she reminds me of the Russian general, but like a more toned down version of Revi, because she actually has a human side. So yeah, I really like her.
Yeah, like
She's a
what
really
kind
good
of what kind of aspects of those two do you see in her? Like, what does she remind you of with it?
Just the badassery.
Badassery.
I'm gonna take charge. I'm gonna smoke a cigar. I run this shit. You're all my bitches.
You bitches.
Okay. Yeah, she was one of those characters where you absolutely knew why she was there. With I remember when watching the anime, I remember really liking Solace. Is that her name? The cop.
It's
The
something
cop girl?
like that. Yeah.
It was like Saris or something like that.
Yeah.
I remember really liking her in the OVA, and reading the manga, I was like, what was she supposed to be in this manga? What was her purpose, you know? Like,
Yeah.
they use her, especially in the last chapters that we read, she's pretty much only used for comedy.
Yeah, comedy or
really weird.
shooting big weapons.
Yeah, just like showing up and be like, pew, and then she disappears. And then you're like, where did she go? Oh, there she is, making a weird face at the end of the chapter, and now I guess we're moving on. Like, it was super strange.
Yeah.
No,
It was really weird. Oh, sorry.
No, I was gonna say I think she's the insert character for the audience or for whoever's reading.
Yeah.
Because she's someone that doesn't really know what is going on, and she's always getting things explained to her. So I think that's her purpose.
Yeah. It's just really like she just feels like such. She doesn't even need to be there. Like, that's just what I'm saying. Like, I feel like they just had her at the first chapter to show the whole idea with, like, virgins or who can become vampires, to get that, like, established. But she just feels like such a worthless character. Like, everything that they've done with her, I feel like just, I don't know, just hasn't really hit me in any way whatsoever. and she hasn't had any development. She's just kind of there. She's just like a thing. And there's so much more. I think what makes me annoyed the most is that there's so much more potential that they could use for her, but they're focusing on the story that's happening around her so much more than they're focusing on her. So it's like,
Yeah.
the story that's happening with the Nazis, like, wanting to start war with England again, like, that's such a big focus. Like, that is the story and that is the villain. But it feels like that should have come a little bit later so we could focus on her development at the start. Like, I think I would have liked it if we saw her struggling, the whole struggle with her not wanting to eat blood, wanting to drink blood. I don't know. Wanting to drink blood. Like,
It's okay. We got lots of like 8-panel zoom-ins on
Yeah,
her tongue
just, like-
almost hitting blood.
Like, I feel
so
like if
it's
they had
fine.
taken, like, 1 or 2 chapters to delve into that and show her character development and focus just on that, and, like, a ton of other manga have done, and then gone into, like, the huge plot, it would have felt better to me. Like, she would have felt more defined, and I would have, like, enjoyed having her there. And so, yeah, I think that was my issue with her. She just doesn't do very much.
Yeah, if we had focused more on her place within Hellsing, maybe.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
her it wasn't even all that clear like what was going on with her for a couple of chapters. I was like, she's a vampire, right? Is she a vampire? What happened there? And then they're like, you're a vampire, and I'm like, cool. She is a vampire then. But then they like the development with that has been happening every like 10 chapters.
Yeah,
like
very
there were like
sporadically.
2 instances where they were like, you should probably drink some blood, you'd get more powerful, and she's like, no, I don't want to. The end.
Here's, like, a giant bazooka.
Yeah, here's a bazooka
So
for
that
that
you'll
one
have-
frame where you'll pop in and shoot something with a bazooka
We
later.
need,
That's
we
all
need you
the-
to have
that's all the
something to
develop-
do because you're not going to be able to try and drink blood the next chapter, so we need you to have something else.
No, that's all the development she needed. No,
That's all.
pretty much.
Yeah.
No, I would say that ties into the pacing issues. I think that the mangaka had a lot that they wanted to get out right away. Like, in other words, laying the framework for the Vatican, like what they're doing, what's Millennium doing.
Yeah.
And just trying to get all the characters introduced as soon as possible so that you can get into the actual meat of the story, which I don't think we've even touched yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I would agree with that. It felt so rushed. Like, at the start, I had so many issues keeping up with a lot of it. I was like, it just jumped so quickly. Like, the one, what's his name? The father who's with Anderson all the time, the head of the Vatican.
Oh, yeah. I thought he was a vampire.
I thought he was a vampire the entire time. And
He
then-
keeps getting shot and regenerating, and I was like, he's a vampire. And then they keep referring to him as a human, and I'm like, how is he I'm sure this is
do you
something
mean
we'll learn
Anderson?
later.
Or do you mean Anderson?
I mean the
No.
priest who's like
That's
crazy.
Anderson is the one that regenerates.
There's Anderson, yeah, who has, like, the scar on his face and the glasses and is, like, with Alucard
Yeah.
all the time. Then
Yeah,
there's
that
the
guy.
guy who's, like, in charge of him.
Right.
Yeah, and the guy who's in charge of him, I was like, I kept getting so confused about who he was because there was just so much information about different characters thrown in, and some of the characters kind of look alike. Like, it was the art issue, but like
Yeah.
there was just so much information thrown in about who's working with who and like who's not, and it was just so fast. It just kind of felt like, Lulu, you were saying that the mangaka wanted to get to the meat of the story with the Nazis, that it like he just blazed through all of this stuff because he's like, I really want to just get to this, so here's this information that they can always just go back and reread it if they really want to, and like
Yeah.
dived into that. So it was just felt like so much so quickly, especially in those first like 10, 11 chapters.
I do love Alucard though,
Oh, I love Alucard.
which by the way is Dracula backwards. For anybody who didn't
Not-
notice that.
I obviously didn't notice that. This is a completely original idea.
Oh my god, I just like, so you said that, and then somebody in chat, I can't pronounce his name, it's a very pretty name, but I can't pronounce it, goes, Anderson is DeBoss, and I thought he was doing the thing where you were like, Alucard is Dracula backwards. I thought he was doing Anderson backwards as DeBoss, and I was
As
like,
a boss, you're like, that's not
that's not
right.
right, but he is DeBoss, but that's not right.
I was kind of disappointed that Alucard wasn't called Dr. Acula.
Doctor,
That would have been amazing.
oh my god, there has to be a spin-off. somewhere where Alucard is a doctor and they just call him Dr. Acula. That would be amazing.
Oh God, somebody's written that fanfic.
Oh, totally.
Please, that AU where he's just a doctor, man. He's just living his life.
It's just,
But every now and then, he drinks blood packs, and it's weird. There you go, fanfic written.
But who's he shipped with? I don't understand.
Everybody bangs Alucard. I mean, sorry, Dr. Acula.
You already messed it up.
I'm sorry, I already ruined everything. And art-wise, I realize that we can't always get what we want. But I wish so badly that the art was really, really clean. Mm-hmm. And then in those moments when Alucard goes nuts and like turns into a bunch of eyeballs and shit, that's when we had this art style instead of having it all the time.
Yeah.
Because it has kind of like a weird, skewed, surreal feel to it, like JoJo's does.
Yeah.
That works really well in those moments when people are like, what the fuck is happening? But in the rest of the time, I'm like, everything doesn't need to be this stylized.
Yeah.
Like, it's just
See, here's the thing, Dodger. I kind of disagree because the entire time I was reading this, I was like, what the fuck is happening?
So from your perspective, it worked.
It was great.
No, I actually didn't like the art at all.
Yeah.
It looked really, really muddy, but we'll get into that later, I guess.
Yeah, it was.
You can get into it whenever,
yeah, let's just
dude.
hit it now.
You can get into it now. The art was bogus.
Yeah.
The art was kind of whack at times. A lot of times, yeah.
And it's not. I wouldn't even say it's because of the age of it. I would just say that's just how it is.
Yeah.
Because I've read manga that's about that age, maybe even a little older. That looks much cleaner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was very muddied. Like, yeah, I agree with what both of you are saying, especially with Alucard. The style would have so much more of an impact if it was when Alucard went ballistic. Like, if it stuck strictly to that, it would be great. But with how it is, where that's the same style running throughout the entire thing, those moments kind of lose the importance because you don't quite register that it's supposed to be him going ballistic because you're like, oh, he looks this way all the time.
He always looks that way, yeah. He's always, like, shadow-faced with one eyeball in frame.
And so,
he's just like, is this a, oh, he's a dog now. Okay,
okay,
cool.
yeah. Now he's got eyes everywhere. Oh, okay.
Oh, sick. Got it.
Yeah. So it's just, yeah, because it's really, it loses the impact of that transformation for sure. And I did like a lot of the blood. The blood was quite nice. But I agree. I didn't really like the art style. The character designs there were times where, like, the consistency of the character designs was really whack, especially Victoria. Yeah. Where she, like, there was one frame especially, I forgot to screen grab it, but she was making one of her stupid faces where she was just like, what? But her face went like this. So it was like, and I was like, what is happening to you? I didn't know if it was a weird scan thing, but everything else on the page was totally fine. It was just her forehead right here, and then the rest of her face going like this way. And I was like,
yeah.
What? So,
yeah,
it had issues being consistent. I thought it got a little bit better near the end of what we were doing. And I thought sorry, I almost thought of a different manga, but because I read Apocalypse Notori today, and I was thinking about how, because in this manga there was a few of the pages where it was like the 2-page panels. There wasn't a ton, but there was a few. And I was just thinking about how I loved the way Apocalypse Notori did it way more than I loved the way Hellsing did it. It's like a completely unfair comparison, but I was just thinking about that when I was reading it. And so, because it's just like the full panels always just kind of looked pretty muddy. Like everything just looked like you said. It was very, not super fantastic.
I have a question
Everyone
for you.
had Mickey Mouse yaoi hands. Yes.
Oh yeah, that.
Mickey Mouse.
All right, so I got a question.
Yes.
Am I the only person that had trouble telling apart Victoria and the Nazi werewolf guy?
No.
Apparently.
No. I feel like they have to be shipped. Talking about doujinshi, I feel like there's so many doujinshi of them. I had so many issues with that. When he got shot, I thought she got shot. At first. No, I agree. Yeah. The character designs are basically a copy and paste. I don't know if that's intentional, but it doesn't really
Not only that,
make
but
sense to me if it would be.
the characters don't always feel like they're from the same manga. Is that weird?
No, I agree.
I'm like, you'd feel like you don't belong here. The second that werewolf kid showed up, I was like, you are not from this manga.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is this? He's like, I'm a werewolf. And I was like, really? In this world where Alucard is turning into eyeball dogs, you're a fucking werewolf? Are you kidding me right now? You should be in an MMO. An MMO where you get to wear cute clothes and run around in fields. This is not the right manga. So confused.
I agree with that. Definitely.
But more on the art. One thing I will say that I appreciated was the violence. Just not just the blood splatter, but just the rampant dismemberment that was going on. That was just fucking wonderful.
So many people just like bursting into pieces.
Heads being like cut off in half. Oh my god, it was beautiful. It was amazing. That was something that was really good. The action scenes, not to dive from the art. I can put a pin in this too and come back if we want to keep talking about the art.
No, fuck it. We're going
Go wherever, man.
balls in. Let's go.
Flippy flop it.
I was gonna say the action I thought was really well done, a lot, especially as it went on. There was quite a few scenes where it was like I remember one chapter where Anderson was running towards somebody and it showed his feet getting closer and like picking up speed. So there was that, and then there was a few moments where Alucard and Anderson fought, and like I just think the action scenes as it went on got a lot better and were a lot more interesting to watch. I thought the action scenes were some of the strongest parts of the manga, in my opinion. I thought they were really good.
Chat saying that apparently it's a cat boy.
What?
And Schrodinger. And
He said he's a werewolf.
Is the name.
He said he's a werewolf
Yeah.
in the manga.
Oh, they're saying that's the squad name, but I thought he said he was a werewolf. I'm pretty sure.
That's Why would they do that? What the fuck? That doesn't make any sense. He's like, should I go assemble the werewolves? I'm a werewolf. No, he's not actually a werewolf though. He's a cat boy who's in charge of a squad named the Werewolves. Fuck off. No way. I'm not. I'm sorry. I'm in just the right mood today where I'm gonna get really angry about this. No. I reject that whole idea.
I mean, werewolves can be cat boys.
No.
No, they can't, Aaron.
They can't. He can be a werecat if he wants. That's cool.
What did you guys think about the action scene in Rio de Janeiro when they were fighting against the guy that had the string, or like the cord stuff? That was also one that I thought was really good.
With
Wait,
Walter.
Cord guy was Walter. They were definitely
No,
not
or
fighting
the
against
card guy, Hisoka.
Oh, he's so good. I loved that because he was the one who was like, oh, this is going to be an easy fight. I would have the best ever. And Alucard was just like...
Yeah, just like...
crushed it. Literally every fight with Alucard so far has been that way, though.
Yeah.
Except when he fights Anderson.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
The fight with Anderson I really enjoyed.
That one was good.
That was badass.
I was a little thrown off because I was like... Because when Anderson was first introduced, for some reason, I must have misread it because I thought he was a good guy that was with Alucard. And so when they started fighting, I was like, what are you doing? What are you guys doing? But that fight was really good. That was like the first hardcore fight in the manga, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing that kind of bugged me about that whole thing was the fight happening in Northern Ireland and the tensions between Hellsing and the Vatican. I don't know, it felt like they were playing into the Troubles, and given when the manga was released, this is not a good time to be talking about the Troubles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. There's a lot of stuff in here that you're like, this mangaka is really pushing the limits.
Yeah, I kept thinking that too. I was like, did no one get pissed off about this at the time it was released?
Yeah.
Like,
even now, I'm like, I wonder if there was controversy around it.
I don't know.
Chat? Was there controversy around
Chat.
it?
Chat.
Chat.
We're outsourcing our research.
We aren't gonna do. Yeah. I really liked, they eventually had to start, the fact that they had to come together and start working together too, I felt happened really quickly as well.
Yeah, they had barely established the tension.
Yeah,
It
it was
felt like.
when like Alucard and Anderson started fighting in Rio de Janeiro when they were trying to escape. Am I saying that right?
What?
Yeah.
Rio de
Yeah.
Janeiro. Okay, I thought it
Rio
was
de
right, and then
Janeiro,
for some
yeah.
reason I was like, "Am I saying that wrong?"
Muy
I
bien,
mean, that's
Eddie. Bien
that's
hecho.
what I
Muy
would say.
bien. And when Anderson showed up to fight him, I was like, and then he let Alucard and Victoria and them go. I was really confused. I was like, why would he do that? Just because, like, the build up to the tension, it was established that, like, Anderson and Alucard hate each other so much that it just felt so weird that, because it happens so fast. It goes back to the pacing issues. It just happens so quickly that I was just really thrown for a loop.
Yeah, I agree with all of that. Like, I definitely felt like we had that whole big scene in the museum, right?
Yeah.
Where it was like, we're technically on the same side, but I'll be honest, I want to destroy you guys. And then it was only it was only like a couple of chapters later that they were all like at the table being like, how are we going to defeat the Nazis?
Yeah!
And I was like, okay. I mean, they did touch on it again when he said, in the end, we'll be the ones who win. We'll just destroy everybody.
Yeah.
It'll be fine. So, but it still felt odd that they
Yeah.
were able to just kind of sit at a table together and be like, it's cool.
Yeah. There's this tension. We'll just
He
set
literally
it down.
he literally sent dudes in and destroyed like her whole company, and they were like, let's break bread.
Yeah, like she was like
No.
crying over that, like very upset. They had to bring in some other people, and then all of a sudden, like, oh, well, truce. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Weird.
Alucard during going back to that fight, because that was something. Alucard during that fight with Anderson, the first one when they were in Ireland, I did like how the Victoria was just holding his head. And the fact that his head was still alive, he was still alive, like that creeped me out so much. That's one thing I love about Alucard is how freaking creepy he is. Because it's like, what are you? You are not just a regular vampire. You are something so much more. Why are you eyes now? Oh my god. It's so
Why are you
black.
eyeballs?
And so that's something that I'm really intrigued by. I think out of everything that we've read so far, like, I don't really think the plot is. It wasn't until I'll go back to this, but I think Alucard and his past is one of the most intriguing part of the manga for me.
Yeah,
far.
yeah.
Yeah.
They definitely build up this intrigue in you where you're like, what is going on with this guy? Like, why can no one beat him? Is it just because he's old?
Yeah.
So,
I like when they're like, oh, I beheaded him and I stabbed him in the heart, and Integra's like, oh, is that all you did?
yeah.
She's so sassy.
She's super sass. I love it.
Love it so
But I mean, if I had somebody like Alucard being like, I'll do whatever you want, you're my master now, I'd be like, all right, cool, I can afford to be pretty sassy. Like, no one's gonna mess with me, right?
Oh, can we talk about chubby Nazi Major?
Yes, I was actually
Yes.
yes.
I really
So
like
the-
his character design.
I love his character design.
His character design is awesome, but I despise him as a character,
Oh.
and not because he's a Nazi. Not because that's not why I hate him. I hate him
Go
because he doesn't have any real motivation to do
Yes.
anything. He's just like, fuck it, let's go.
He's like, I like war.
Yeah, he's totally a Joker character.
Yeah.
He's the some men just want to watch the world burn, Master Wayne. He's that guy.
Yeah. The only part I liked about him, I agree with that. I was thinking that as he was talking about everything and they were introducing him and he's just like, I love war. I was like, oh, you have no real motivation, do you? You're just kind of here to be the antagonist. But I did kind of get some goosebumps when I was reading his speech because I was imagining it and how epic it does sound. Like, even though it's like an antagonist speech, I think it was my favorite dialogue of the entire manga because it
Oh,
was
absolutely.
it was really powerful. Like, you just hear like the manipulation in the words and also just the complete evil that it is. But it was really, if you had heard that, I want to go back and watch that in the anime because I can't remember it at all. So I'm just like, I feel like I had to have just been like when I watched it. So I really want to go back and watch that part because it was just a really good speech.
Yeah. Is it weird? This is like kind of off topic.
No.
The thing that I remember the most about watching the OVAs was Victoria, the girl.
Yeah.
She was like always wearing like a little collar.
Yeah.
There was a point where she started wearing a collar, and one of the dudes, I watched it with a bunch of people from my theater department, and one of the dudes was like, God, that's so hot. It's like one of the only things I remember from watching that was him just, he like for days afterward, he was like, no, seriously, like I think I'm really into that, and I didn't realize it until now. It was like a big deal. It was so weird.
I want to know where he is now.
Probably some sex dungeon in East
Sex
Germany.
dungeon.
I think he lives in LA now.
Oh, yay. Perfect.
I should go see him and ask him how that's doing.
Yeah, you
How
should-
that fetish is going.
You just, like, take him, like, go out to coffee and be like, hey, how's that collar fetish?
How's that collar fetish treating
He'll
you?
show up in the outfit from that the Gimp from Pulp Fiction wore.
Yeah. Like, this isn't weird. I'm conducting an experiment right now.
I don't understand what's strange about what's happening.
What's weird about this? I'm just gonna get a cappuccino.
Yeah, no, he, like, that was another part that I think was just really convoluted, and there was a lot of information getting thrown out, was when he was getting introduced, and what just happened to you?
Nothing, sorry. My phone lit up, and I was like, "Oh, what's happening?" And there was an alert that said, "Get instant Bay status," and Bay was in all caps. It was from like a weird shopping app I have, and I was like, I'm so sorry. Keep going.
Oh my god, I don't know if I can.
End of MangaPod.
Get instant base status.
I killed it. I've literally
I want
been the
base
worst thing
status.
to happen to MangaPod today. I'm so sorry.
I need base status in my life.
Instant Bay status.
I remembered another part of Alucard that I wanted to talk about. Sorry, I'm like jumping around all over the place. I'm just remembering things.
That's fine. I literally yelled about Catboys, so
You got so mad.
I know. Everybody was talking about it in chat like for so long.
They were like, "Oh my god, she
Oh my
got
God.
silenced for too long."
Anyway, go on. Your other thing about Alucard.
The other thing about Alucard that I really enjoyed was that he doesn't really have a sympathetic human side to him at all. He is like a monster. He has no qualms with killing a shit ton of like police officers and people just because they're standing in the way and they might sabotage the mission. Like, he had no issues. Like, he asked, Integra and was like, I mean, I'm waiting for your orders. But kind of was like, and then she finally said, yes, just do it. And he had no issues whatsoever just killing tons and tons of innocent bystanders. Like, he had no
But-
problem.
yeah.
I also love how he specifically mentioned that it was her intention that was going to result in all those deaths. And she's like, fuck it, go for it.
Yeah, that was a really interesting
Do what you need to
conversation.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was interesting to see the dynamic between the two of them there. That's for sure. During that phone call.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the fight with the card dude, like, did you see all the journalists just like getting hacked in half? I was like,
That was so
There were
awesome.
bodies just on poles outside. He was like, behold.
yeah, it was just like, and they were still alive, so there's like, it's really sad,
life
guys.
alone.
We're not
One-
laughing.
one-
at people,
It's really
but
sad,
really
though.
sad.
One thing in the
Take it.
translation that I read, it said Rio de Janeiro is the capital of Brazil. I don't know when this shit was published, but Brasilia is the capital of Brazil. So, that's just one thing. I don't know if the translator just didn't know shit, or if it was an actual fuck up in the manga.
Oh my god, that's funny.
Oh my god! Listen, maybe in this manga world, Rio de Janeiro is the capital.
It would have to be before, I think, 1972. Something like that.
When? No, because
I'm
doesn't
sure.
this manga take place 50 years?
50 years after, if it's 50 years after the end of World War II, then it has to be like present day for when the manga was released. So,
50
yeah.
Yeah. So it would have been after, because the manga was released in like 2000, early 2000s.
Published 1997.
Oh, well, still. Maybe
Still, yeah.
50,
So
50.
either the translator fucked
Yeah.
up or the
That's like
mangaka
right
fucked
on
up.
the line, though. That's like right on the line if we're mathing.
If we're mapping right now.
Oh gosh, what was I was gonna.
Okay, JC Wijma, I don't know if this is like actually up to speed, but they're saying it's an actual fuck up.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, chat is like 40 seconds behind or something like that. 30 seconds, which is sad. But yeah, no, okay, so it is an actual fuck up. Good catch. I didn't even think about that. It's really funny.
Yeah, I didn't notice that at all.
Lou's a history buff. He knew.
Yeah, Lou knows.
I also
He'll
know
keep us in check.
geography.
Yeah, that's what I was doing. A lot better than I do. Let's talk about Walter. What are you guys' thoughts on Walter?
Walter is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I enjoy Walter as a character. That's like Alfred from Batman, but Alfred from Batman just going fucking beast mode and wrecking everyone.
Yeah,
He's just I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just a butler.
I always love characters like that that are awesome and they're like, I'm nobody. Don't mind me. It's fine. Like total wolf in sheep's clothing. I love that.
Love it so much. I'm excited to hear. I hope that we learn even more about Walter and Alucard's little adventure that they were on where they destroyed the Millennium. Little adventure. They destroyed the Nazi group, but whatever.
Yeah.
Tiny stepping stone in history. Yeah,
Fun fact, kind of spoilery fun fact, but we're going to see someone.
Spoiler finger? Spoiler finger.
No, not really.
But you said spoiler.
Not for the manga.
For what?
Just what we're reading next week.
What
or
are
do you
we
want to
reading
just
next
hold that
week?
up?
Oh, we don't want to spoil anything.
Okay, never mind.
Akame got killed, right? Akame got killed. Spoiler.
Yeah.
And that show's really easy to spoil because of reasons.
No, it's just that he has the same weapon as a character from that.
Oh,
from that
yeah! Okay, you can say that. That's not
okay. Well, I just did.
There it is.
There it is. Perfect.
Slipped it in there.
MangaPod, we say things.
Dude, people... MangaPod, we say things.
We barf in
I want that on a shirt.
Yeah, he... With the strings, like... Silver strings are just a weapon in manga and anime all the time.
Right? Yeah, that's such a common weapon, and it always makes me go, is this possible?
Yeah,
Like, could you actually have strings that were somehow sharp enough or made out of a material that could literally just slice through bone really easily?
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't seem like a thing, but I'm totally cool with it.
Yeah. Oh, hang on. DC Headley, if you don't mind, I appreciate the Aaron speak and you trying to learn my language, but let's not spam the chat with it. Please.
Flag for spam.
Flag for spam. Yeah, like Walter was really fun to me. Like he was a character that I felt came out of nowhere. Like I couldn't remember him until he was sitting behind the desk. Maybe that's his first appearance, but when he was sitting behind the desk talking to Integra, like I thought he had been in it before. It felt to me like he should have been in the manga before he was there. So I was really confused by his sudden appearance and like I had no idea what he did. They didn't make it very clear what
Aaron, I hope you don't mind that I interrupt you, but DC Headley, I had to block you because you disregarded Aaron's plea for
I also blocked him. We did it at the same time.
Please respect the rules, guys. I'm no longer a mod, but I'm keeping an eye on the chat.
Yeah.
And I still have the ban hammer.
Still has ban hammer. And if you post spoilers or anything like spammy, you'll get banned after you get your timeout or after you get your warning. You won't get a timeout because YouTube doesn't have timeouts, so you'll get banned.
Which is dumb. YouTube really should have timeouts.
They really need to figure that out. So yeah, Walter was. I feel like the chapter with the two brother vampires, I feel like that was mostly to show off Walter. I feel like that was another one of those chapters that just felt like it happened to show off Walter, because right after it happened, they're like, oh, don't worry, we have this group of like mercenaries here ready to just come in and take it over. Okay, great.
One thing that irks me about that chapter is it felt like really anticlimactic.
Oh, yeah.
Like the fights were one and done, like, you know, it was like, oh, here's my move, and you're dead.
Yeah, it was so fast. It was just like, that had a lot of build-up, and then nothing really happened. Like, it confused me. I was like, did all of those people really need to die? Like, was it really, I don't know. It was very strange to me that they're in this, like, corporation, this big, huge corporation made to fight against vampires and the creatures of the night, and every single guard died. Like, not as, I don't know, it felt kind of forced to me.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, like they took care of it. They fixed it the next chapter because they brought in the mercenary group immediately, who also haven't really done very much and haven't really had too much of an introduction either. Aside, like, they kind of got the Victoria treatment in that, like, they were introduced and you're like, oh, these guys are gonna have a huge part, and then they're kind of just side characters there to do everything that Alucard is not able to do while he's fighting. That's kind of like how they feel for me right now.
I mean, I think that's how all humans that aren't Integra in this, and Walter in this
Yeah,
manga
that's
are.
true.
Because, I mean, you look on the other side, like the troops on the other side, they're just getting fucking wrecked by Alucard.
Yeah.
Like, everybody that works for Millennium is just getting destroyed like nothing.
That's true. All the humans are worthless. Uh-huh. Bye. Oh, she's back. Oh.
This was wrong. This didn't work.
Yeah, I would think so too. It just feels very like it's another issue with the pacing of it. It's just kind of like, why you do this? You're just introducing characters to jump into something else and give them no time to develop. I think it was my biggest issue with it. I'm trying to think of what other characters we haven't touched on yet. Anybody?
I can't think of anybody that really matters.
Yeah.
Me neither.
Because there's that guy in the very last chapter when they took over the aircraft carrier.
Oh yeah. Oh wait, I think that's a girl. I think that's a
Is
woman.
it a girl? It's just
Who?
like
I
I'm
thought
so
it was.
confused.
The one with the really long hair. At the very last.
Which one? oh, the one who
very
drew
last
the
chapter,
Nazi
who
symbol
drew
on
Nazi
the.
symbol.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
I thought that was a girl.
I'm pretty sure it's a woman.
All right, so it's a
But
chick.
It's hard to tell.
It's
in
hard to
this
tell.
manga,
I
I'll
thought it
be
was a
honest.
man at first, and then I was reading something, and it said that she was a woman. So I was like, oh, okay. Okay. I did like her line about saying that she ran out of paint, and then it shows the whole Nazi symbol, and I'm like, oh shit, she used blood.
She drew it with blood.
I did enjoy that little tidbit. That was very nice. But yeah, like we haven't even seen. Even she is very stereotypical of like that villain that just doesn't really seem to have much motivation and just kills, just kind of kill. I mean, we've only seen like her very first appearance, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think then we've covered everyone.
I was gonna say, I think we've covered. Is there anything else in the manga you guys want to talk about? I feel like we've touched on basically everything. I don't have anything else to talk about, really.
No, I think we're all set.
So, like, there isn't a lot to delve into, you know?
Yeah. Everything,
'Cause
there
the manga
wasn't
itself
much.
didn't really delve into anything.
Yeah, there wasn't much depth to anything. And aside from us, like, just summarizing everything, I feel like there's not much more to talk. Like, I don't feel like there's much more to touch on for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, let's wrap up and give our final thoughts and ratings, shall we? Sorry, did I hurt your ears?
No.
With that,
A little
okay.
bit. Me, a little bit. About that much.
I can go first.
Okay.
Okay.
I think I'm going. Oh God, actually, I hate number rating so much. I'm gonna give it a 6. I think I'm gonna give it 6 because I didn't think it was bad. I didn't think it was above average. I thought it was pretty average, especially with all of the pacing issues and the issues that I had with the art and a lot of the characters. I thought were very one-dimensional, but I do think it has saving grace in the setup it's doing in the last few chapters that we read. I thought we were setting up something that can be really, really awesome. And I really enjoyed the gore and the action scenes, and Integra and Alucard were awesome and so dope. So I think that it's a very interesting start to the manga. Like, I don't think I didn't really start enjoying it until about the last 10 chapters, so I would want to read more, but I can't give what we read anything higher than an average rating. So I'm going to give it a 6.
Yeah. I was going to give it a 5, but my waifu Integra, she bumps it up to a 6, I think. I just really love her.
Does your waifu just take it from a flaccid to a...
She does, yes. Go from software to hardware.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like Hellsing. has a lot of the story itself has so much potential, and the way that the manga is played out is really poor, unfortunately. But I do like the setting. I do like the characters. The art could definitely use some work, but it's not bad. It's just like what Aaron said. It's not bad. It's not great. So I'll give it a 6 because it has characters.
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
I will give it a very rigid and firm 7. Very not budging from that because the violence was great, the war was great,
7.
and if it wasn't for implied Yuri blood drinking, that would have been a 5. So that bumps it up.
See,
a little
Lou
bit.
gets it.
Okay.
I
So
get
the
it.
Yuri blood drinking knocks it up from a 5 to a 7.
5 to a
Yes.
7.
Flaccid 5 for
That's
rigid
why you're
7.
on the podcast, Lou.
Yeah. Lou gets it.
Beautiful. So you give it a 7. Perfect.
Very forward-thinking 7.
a very progressive 7. Actually.
Yeah.
Awesome. So that wraps up our discussion of Hellsing. Thank you very much, Berserkaren, for requesting that we read this. Next week, I will go ahead and read, unless one of you wants to do it.
I think Lou should do it.
Yeah, Lou. Okay. Hang on.
I gotta look for it.
I can't.
Hold on.
My computer is lagging, so I can't send you the link. But if you go to reddit.com/r/mangapod, this is there.
That's a very nice way to plug it. 1 second.
I was smooth like power steering.
Oh
Like
God, no!
power
Not
steering.
again. No.
First thing you have to know is oh. The next thing you have to do is ooh.
If you guys want to listen to the worst song maybe ever, with maybe the worst music video ever.
Worst means best.
Yeah. Look up Smooth Like Power Steering.
Yep. Smooth like power steering.
Go.
And then
go
also,
watch Psycho Stick. Go watch
yeah,
Psycho
Psycho
Stick.
Also, if you enjoy Smooth Like Power Steering, you will also enjoy her other top 10 hit. I am the ice cream to your fat boy. Or no, I'm the fat boy to
I'm
your
the fat
ice
boy
cream.
to your ice cream, I think is
Yeah.
what it was called.
It's one of those.
If you enjoyed those 2 things, you're definitely gonna enjoy the manga that we'll be reading next week. In a fantasy world where fighter Tatsumi sets out for the capital to earn money for a starving village and finds a world of unimaginable corruption, all spreading from the depraved prime minister who controls the child's emperor's ear. After nearly becoming a victim of the corruption himself, Tatsumi is recruited by Night Raid, a group of assassins dedicated to eliminating the corruption plaguing the capital by mercilessly killing those responsible. I can't English today.
I can't English. It's okay.
I spent all days talking Spanish. I'm sorry.
You don't worry. That's basically me. You're
Say
not
habla
you're not
español.
officially a part of the Moncast. There you go. See? You're not officially part of MangaPod unless you stumble over your words and do errands.
Am I a part of the Moncast?
You're part of the Moncast. Moncast. What even is that? A podcast about? Has anybody in chat guessed the manga yet? Nope. They're all just really stuck on power steering.
Smooth Like Power Steering.
And yeah, we've said it before, so yeah. It's a Kamiga kill.
Guess it. Yeah. Woo! Kamiga kill. Also requested for the IndieGoGo. It was requested by Vin. And we are going to be having a special guest next week. Her name is Miss Art, and we are super excited to have her join us. We're going to be reading a Kamiga Kill volumes 1 through 3, chapters 1 through 14.
Yay!
This actually was one, oh god, my mouse, I was going to say. This was one that's actually been requested quite a few times, especially when the anime started airing. We got a lot of requests to do it, too.
We got requests after we posted the schedule thread, so it tells you how much people want us
Somebody
to
made
read.
an extra thread and was like, a Kamiga Kill MangaPod should read. And I was like...
But we are.
Bill's in the comments.
But
Bill.
it's on the schedule.
I hear you.
That's like the people commenting on Tower of God pod. Please read more Tower of God.
Yeah.
When are you reading Tower of God?
When are you reading more Tower of God? This is literally we just did it.
All right, let's go ahead and shout out our stuff super duper quick before we say goodbye. I am Erin of HappiLeeErin. You're here on my channel, youtube.com/HappiLeeErin. I do anime reviews and anime first impressions as well as mental health awareness. I uploaded my top 11-ish anime of 2014 last week. You should definitely go and check it out and let me know what your top 11-ish anime are. I also have my winter preview coming out this weekend as well as my review of Kuroko no Basket Extra Game. It's so good, but fuck Nash Gold Jr. That's all I'm going to say. This is what I'm going to say. Nash Gold Jr. is dick. And if you'd like to find me on any other social media, I am HappiLeeErin all across the everything. Yes.
No, keep going. I'm sorry.
I'm HappiLeeErin all over everything. Links in the description down below. Yes, Dodger.
All I was gonna say was I forgot to show this guy off.
Oh, I saw your picture. Oh, he's so pretty.
They're identical. It's so awesome when they're next to each other. They're identical, except it's the away outfit instead of the home outfit. I'm not taking him out of the box.
You're leaving
I took
him?
the other one out of the box, but I'm leaving him in the box because I'm a psychopath.
It's like,
It's like, oh, you need to stay in there because
He's
you're
so
rare. Maybe, I don't know.
someday,
Yeah.
Basket's gonna blow up. You don't know.
Totes. Hi, I'm Dodger. From youtube.com/press start to continue. I do mostly video game stuff. Sometimes I talk about anime, sometimes, but I also do MangaPod every Tuesday with this beautiful girl, and that's where we are right now. So
Thanks for the plug.
you're welcome. Just want people to know this isn't the only time I'm here, unless I get kicked off for screaming about Catboys. I don't know. Who knows what's gonna happen after today? But yeah, and I have another channel, youtube.com/dexterity_bonus, where I drink coffee and talk about my cats. And on all the social medias, I'm at dexbonus, DEXBONUS. So, yay!
Yay!
My name is Lou, and I'm from Sitting by the Window Anime Reviews, and you can find me on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Ask.fm as Sitting by the Window Anime Review without the S. If it doesn't work, then add an S, and there you go. I review anime, I do first impressions, and like I said before, I also sometimes dub Erin in Spanish. I also do
Really
random
cool.
rap videos. I make really awful AMVs of Tribe Cool Crew.
Yes.
I have no consistency to my channel at all. I cannot guarantee what is going to be coming out. Hell, I may stop reviewing anime one day and I just. No, I'm kidding.
And you'll
That's
be
not
I was like,
gonna
what?
happen.
Then you'll be Yoku.
Lies. No.
Start doing
I'm
games
not going
on
to turn
your
into.
channel.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Lulorama Game Talk.
Yokorama Game Talk, who is not here tonight. But you can find all of his links in the description down below, as well as ours. Thank you, Lou, so much for being a part of our podcast forever now.
I am very happy to be here. Thanks for selecting me. I
Of
feel
course,
awesome.
we're so stoked to have you be a part of this, and we are so happy with everybody who's been very, very kind in the chat as well. And just go tweet Lou and give him all of the love and welcome me MangaPod feels, because we're so happy to have him be a part of this. So,
Yeah.
thank you all so much for watching MangaPod. Once again, we're a weekly podcast in which we all get together. We read all of modern manga and we discuss it. We'll be here same time, same place next week, 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, Tuesday night. If you would like to see the schedule for all of our upcoming MangaPods, you can find it on reddit.com/r/MangaPod. The link is in the description down below as well. Hope you're having a fantastic day, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye!
Bye-bye.
Boop, boop.
Laters.
Oh no, my mouse is freezing. I can't.
Peace.
Hang on, keep talking.
Uh-oh.
Peace.
Stall for
mouse-
time.
Peace.
Oh, no.
Saul.
So, we're also
Lou.
just a reminder, we're reading a comic got killed next week.
Yeah, Lou,
Yeah,
what's
that's
your
the thing
favorite
that we're
color?
doing.
What's your favorite? Everybody, what's your favorite color?
Red, black.
Pink.
Orange. Orange is probably my favorite color.
Bye.
Oranges are
Bye.
good. Carrots.